Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is Katrina. I'm a mom of 7, and this is our third video in our New Year's Day, New Year's Eve series. The first video, linked here, is our preparation for our New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with our grocery haul for everything that we're going to cook. Our second video, linked here, is the video that precedes this one, where we cooked our New Year's Eve dinner, had our party, and then finished off our New Year's celebration with dinner on New Year's Day. So this video is the leftovers and what we plan to do with the taco bar that we had for New Year's Eve. So if you haven't watched those videos, you might want to go back and do that. So let's get started. Alright, so here's a quick look at the food that we used for New Year's Eve, our taco bar. Here's the cheese, the rest of some mozzarella cheese that we had with our pizzas Friday for lunch, sour cream, the rest of the cilantro, the refried beans, the Mexican rice, homemade Mexican rice that I made. We also have some cheese dip, salsa, raw onion, the avocado. Now this avocado is not bad. It still smells fresh. It was just cut up and left in the air, so we're going to mix that. We have jalapeno, tomatoes, and here is our ground beef. So if you watched our New Year's Eve video, you know what happened with our oven. So my original plan for New Year's leftovers is not going to work out. So we're going to try to put this all together just using the stove, and so I'm going to cook it all up and put it together, and then we're just going to broil it. It'll already be cooked. We're just going to broil the top. So we're going to see if that will work. Okay, so we're going to try to get the meat out here, and that's all of it. We're going to heat this up. I also am going to heat the beans up in this pan first, because the beans is going to be at the bottom of the dish. Will you grab a dish from over there, a glass dish? So we're going to heat this up and mix it with our rice. And this is what we do with our leftover food. Thanksgiving dinner, I usually make a casserole afterwards. Okay, so our 3-year-old is naked. Let's put some clothes on, please. After Thanksgiving, after Christmas, usually all of our food goes into one dish, and then it is cooked or reheated, I guess, in a new way for leftovers. So now I'm going to cut up this onion just a little bit, because it's in larger pieces and I don't like raw onion. So we're going to cut it up a little bit more and stick it in here with this hamburger meat and let it cook down with the hamburger meat. Now, I don't know what everybody else does with their leftovers, but we have a goal to be debt-free by the end of the year. We have our van to pay off. We went against our better judgment and we bought our van without having a down payment, so we owe on our van, but we should be able to get it paid off at the end of the year. So we have committed to sticking to our budget and making good use of our leftovers, and we already love to do some thrift store shopping. So I'm just going to add this in here. So hopefully by the end of the year, our 15-passenger van will be paid off. I'm hoping. Now this is the spinach and arugula that we used. We don't usually buy lettuce. I buy spinach or some kind of spinach mix. So I'm just going to throw it in here with both of these. This is the salsa. And what we're doing is we're pretty much just heating everything up, making sure that it's brought back to temperature before putting it into our 9 by 13 inch Pyrex dish. Now, I don't know if it's just our family, but I guess maybe my kids are used to eating our leftovers. So this is normal for us. We're just going to heat everything up, and as we do that, after we do that, I will layer everything into the dish. It's really quick and easy to do it this way, and usually this is how I have the most success at home. If I find a recipe on the internet and I spend lots of money trying to make it, usually the kids won't eat it. But if I just say, we're going to put this together, and this is what we're going to have, make it up as I go, they will eat all of it. So, you should really give that a try. If you don't know why your kids aren't eating dinner, it's probably because you're trying too hard. I learned that. I used to try so many different recipes, and it just did not get eaten. And I got tired of eating expensive food all by myself. Len always eats the leftovers for lunch, but you know, we're a large family and we continue to grow, or we hope we'll continue to grow, and we want God to bless us in that. And so we're going to be frugal with what He gives us. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to kind of like layer this like lasagna. So this is the avocado. I'm just going to mush it up with my hands. Len's not going to like that, but you know, he'll, I'm sure, love it once it's done. And I'm going to add it to this sour cream and use it like a cream cheese layer inside of this, like Mexican lasagna or whatever we're making here. I don't know. Like I said, I just go with it. So we're just going to mix it up, mix the avocado inside of the sour cream. We also still have the tomatoes left over and the jalapenos. Now I'm not going to put these jalapenos in the food because the kids won't eat it if I do. Alright, so we have our hamburger meat mixed with the leftover onions. Alright, now is this cheese dip is probably hard again, see that? So I'm just going to stick it in the microwave for a minute to loosen it up. We also have the leftover tortillas that I am also going to use. We have quite a bit of leftover tortillas, but they eat, they make mini pizzas and have cheese quesadillas for lunch during the week, so they can have some of those. Now, I am going to actually try and cook these. Right? We're just going to lay that on there for a second. Everything is still cooking. The little kids are getting ready for bed. Alright, so everything is pretty much good and heated up. This is what you want, is a char on top of your tortilla. Just a little char. And then I'm just going to lay it in my 9 by 13 there. Now, let's don't leave it on there for too long. I don't want my fire alarm to go off, but it could. So we're just going to char these up for just a little bit to put that bottom layer like a lasagna. You can just get the outside. It's pretty much just, you know, giving it a little bit of crispiness so that, as you can see it bubbling up right there, to give it a little bit of crispiness so that it is easier to manage with a fork. Put one on that side, and then a third one will go down. So far I'm good. No smoke, don't see anything. Just gonna wait for it to start bubbling up. There it is, it's rising, so I'm just gonna flip it over. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's bubbling up right there. And then I'm gonna cut it off. This will be our third one right there. Okay, so now I'm going to take this mixture that I made with the sour cream and avocado, and I am just going to layer it on here, right? Like a Mexican lasagna. Super, super easy. This is, you're with me, no editing here. See how quickly this goes? Then we are going to put in some rice. We're just going to layer everything up. Everything is cooked, heated. The only thing we're going to need to do at the end is melt the cheese. Right? So we're going to put in some of this meat, which will be about half of the meat. And we'll just spread that around. Right? Like that. And then I'm going to put more of the sour cream mixture on top of that. Now, like I said, we had the jalapenos left, but I'm not going to put them on here. Len and Jaxton can add it to their food if they want. That'll be fine. And I am just going to keep layering the rest of this. So this will be this layer. So if you don't know what to do with your leftovers, it's really, I think it tastes good to just put everything together. I mean, you're pretty much eating it all together whenever you eat it separately anyway. And I have done leftover casseroles for Thanksgiving for many, many years. And my kids seem to eat it better. What'd you say?
Second round.
The second round. You know, sometimes leftovers is always better the second time. Especially spaghetti and things like that. So both of these are done. I'll just set them up here. Both of those are done. Now, generally, it's not going to happen like this. If my oven was working, I would have just taken everything out of the containers, layered it in the dish, right, and put it in the oven to cook. But because my oven is not working, I do not have that luxury. So I have the tomatoes left, and I have some tortillas that I am actually going to layer on top. So I'm going to do the same thing. Right? I'll stick that on there for a second. And I also have the cheese dip, and we might want to go ahead and put this cheese dip on here. We'll just, y'all know y'all love that Mexican cheese dip. Everybody pays $4 for the cheese dip at the Mexican restaurant. Now that might set the alarm off, I don't know, but we'll see. Our oven is testy, our alarm is testy. I can't help it. If you ever watch a video and maybe the alarm goes off, it's not necessarily because I'm burning anything. Our alarm is just testy. So there's one. So we have used the salsa. That's done. We've used the cheese dip, the onions. What else? The rice, the meat, the cilantro, not cilantro, but the spinach and arugula, sour cream, and the avocado. And now we're getting ready. We're using the tortillas. Now we're getting ready to use the rest of the cheese, the tomatoes. I do not like cilantro, so that will also be something that Jaxton and Len put on their plate because I don't want it on my plate. That's the perks of being mom. I can fix the way I like it. Alright, so here is the top of our casserole. Oven is off. We're going to cut this on to broil. Make sure that it comes on, y'all. Cross your fingers that it's on and that we're going to be able to cook with it here in a second. I really hope so because I'm counting on it. Probably should have done a test run, but this is real life. Alright, so the rest of the sour cream and avocado dip is in here. Voila. Actually pretty good. Then I'm going to take the rest of the mozzarella cheese that we just have sitting in there. You know, whatever. Put it on there. And then some Colby Jack cheese that we have. You know, you layer that on there. That's the best part, even if you don't eat anything else, because it's about to broil, which means that the cheese is going to be real nice. Alright, so that looks good. I'm going to take some of the tomatoes and just plop them on there. Just like that. And I don't want this cheese to burn, so I'm actually going to put it on the second rack. Is it on? Oh, it is on. Y'all, it's on. It's awesome. Oh, and I left my pan in there. We are going to see how well the broiler will actually cook this. Melt this cheese because everything else is cooked. And that will be the leftovers. And they're all gone. We have just a few more tomatoes that McKinsey will eat. We have the jalapenos that Len and Jaxton will eat. We have the rest of the cilantro that they will eat. And we hoarded cheese. So they want to put more cheese on it when they're done. When it's done. That's fine. So fingers crossed that this works with the broiler. I need a new oven. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. So we're going to take it out because the cheese is getting brown on top. It is really heavy. But it looks like it's done. So we're going to plate this up and I might show you what it looks like. Action! This is going to be like a Mexican lasagna. Jaxton.
Ooh, looks yummy.
Gonna taste some before it's actually dinner time. All the plates are on the table. But, you know, it's pretty good.
That's where it's at.
Yo. Told you it would be heated through. Y'all, our broiler is like saving my life. Who knew that you could cook with a broiler? Like, that cheese is super melted. I taste that cheese dip too. Like, this is so good, y'all. Like, seriously? Like, I could just eat all of this. And I probably will.
She caught me.
He likes his to be spicy.
Hot.
I can't eat it like that.
Yo, I need some of those, please. Post my Diop. Daddy, I'll trade you the.
Everybody does something different. Mallory's got the
sauce.
cheese. Everybody's pretty much added cheese.
Get that to Daddy.
Taco Bell sauce, you know, you gotta have that Taco Bell sauce.
Huh?
Yeah.
That had the tomatoes. Diablos.
Yummy. I'm telling you, y'all, leftovers. Just put it all together in a casserole and go with it. It does not have to be fancy. It's better when it's just love. Alright, welcome back. This is the second part of our leftover video. This is actually the New Year's Day food that I'm getting ready to put together to make soup. Let's get started with that.
I ain't got a pepper.
We have leftover black-eyed peas, leftover Hoppin' John, chicken broth that was opened, beef broth that was opened. Here's some butter that I'm cut up. This is our leftover pork loin and the collards. So all of these are going to be mixed together to make a soup. So I have got the butter, some garlic, and also the leftover pork is in here in the pot. I have seasoned it with some pork seasoning. You can see that. Now I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients and we're going to let it simmer for a minute. Okay, this is not all of our collards. I just used about half. I'm going to pour in some of the broth. The rest of this is going to get frozen. Just make sure that you stir it up really good so that that flavor coats all of the beans and all of the rice. It kind of heats the rice up and gives it a little bit of, I guess, wetness. I don't know. Then I'm going to add in some chicken broth, the rest of it that's in the container. We're going to try to bring it to a boil. Working with leftovers, I think, is one of my favorite parts of being a mom. I used to hate leftovers as a kid, but now, I don't know, I enjoy coming up with new ideas for how to do the leftovers. So that's all the chicken broth and all of the beef broth, and it does now have a soup consistency. There is rice, beans, greens, meat, everything is in this bowl, or pot I guess, and we will cook this, bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer while we broil some toast to go with it. Our oven, we haven't called housing yet to fix our oven, so we are still only able to broil. Eventually we'll have our oven back, I hope. Maybe we'll get a new oven. Who knows? So this is the exciting part. It's a few days after the party, festivities for the holidays, and all of the leftovers are gone. The only thing that we have left is this homemade pizza sauce that the kids will use for lunch to make their quesadilla pizzas, tortilla pizzas. And so now we get to start over new with my meal plan. I think it's really, really good.
Me too.
You do? Is it better than what it was the first time? Yeah. Leftovers are always better. That's the reason why I enjoy making leftovers. Do you really like it?
I like it.
I like it.
Try it because it's hot.
You're good eating that toast.
No, it's better.
That's yummy. Thanks for following along with our videos on how we make our leftovers. If you want to see more videos like this where we take what we've eaten and turn it into something new to get rid of the leftovers in your fridge, just like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get our future videos. Y'all have a great new year. Bye.